Hey everyone. Hey everyone. Thank you. I love you all. Welcome to my channel, guys. Thank you for, subscribing. And thank you for the time. Thank you for sharing my videos. Thank you for the suggesting my videos or suggesting of my videos. It may look a little different now because I had to record on my computer. I didn't get my video camera out of my storage yet, but it's all right. I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna get back on track with that. So my phone is completely done. It ran out of storage and it's not letting me record. Something is going on with my volume. So this is not the best camera, but it is clear and you can hear me. Y'all, let me tell y'all, remember when I posted that other video, right? Telling y'all I had two poster boards front and back. Well, I actually wound up having to write three of them. I'm sorry, five of them. The small one, because I had forgotten that after the racial discrimination at my job, I later on went through some things after that happened, and it was like nonstop back to back all the way up until what we could say February. I guess this is, February 26th or whatever. But yeah, so I had to wind up I can't believe I really went through this, y'all, on some real, because I just can't believe it. I mean, I can't make these things up. When I'm a very spiritual person, so I don't know if any of you are, but if you are, then you are highly aware of spiritual warfare, and especially those who are against wickedness of this world. So I mean, going through all of this, it was like, I'm sorry, it was like, oh my goodness, I just, it was just incredible. It was just incredible. I didn't even think it was going to be this bad. But I am going to make maybe a part two or a part three. I'll probably do a part one and then make a part two. And if I have time, I'll make a part three. Please forgive the background. I went to the laundromat recently and I didn't have time to, straighten up and fold up the clothes and everything because I just been working on what I'm working on. And yeah, I believe me, I wasn't even playing my guitar, but I am going to play my guitar for you guys. So, welcome to part one of hashtag story of my life. So I am going to begin from 2020. Yeah, I'm gonna begin from 2020 because that's where a lot of the unforeseen events occurred, and a lot of oh guys, y'all, I don't even want to relive that. It was just a terrible year for me in 2020. I was doing so good. Like in 2016, I was doing good. Then I hit depression in like 2018, and then 2019 I got out of the depression and I got my life back on track. But in 2020, it was like, nah. Life said nah to me. So okay, so beginning from 2020, of the beginning of the year, right? So I had high blood pressure, way higher than what it is now, or I got it under control now, but a lot, way higher, because I was overweight, going through mental, verbal, physical abuse with my ex-husband of 17 years. Y'all, it was terrible. And then, we had a baby. So my baby is 10 now, but he was young at the time. And it really, it did something to him. Like it affected him So I believe like later on down the line, I'm gonna we're gonna go to counseling, him and I, for a lot of the abuse that I went through, during the beginning of 2020. And the whole 17-year relationship in general, it was no, it was just terrible altogether. And being with a narcissistic abusive person, and I'm not saying that I'm all goody goody and everything like that, but for the most part I do realize that I was the one that was able to make amends and able to stand up and take accountability for my actions, and to not react on certain things because we had our baby at the time, and I was the main one that was always taking care of him as a mother should. So, that's what I did. I did my motherly duties, and, you know, um, I performed my wife duties, cooking, cleaning, taking care of the children, teaching the children, taking care of the household, paying bills, buying cleaning products, essentials, and just pleasing a man that was just completely and utterly just abusive. And I'm not going to bash him because he is a good father to his child. So, he do have his ways still, but I mean, we co-parent, and for the most part, we can get along for the sake of our baby. But as far as him and I and the relationship went, y'all, it was just bad. So, oh, that was 16 years at the time. I'm sorry. But I never let that stop me, y'all. I never let that stop me, right? So I live next door to a neighbor, and I'm not gonna. She probably gonna come across this video, but so I live next door to a neighbor, and we were in an apartment building, and she was in the first apartment, and considering all of the abuse and depression and the loneliness that I was experiencing, and still trying to keep it together, and mend my past and heal from that, and then you know um having goals and aspirations and dreams where nobody even thought that I could make it or do it, having family turning back on me, lie on me and everything, you know. So she was sort of like an escape for me. So I mean, she was a pretty decent person. I can't rag on her too much. She had her little thing. She did her little, her little vice or whatever. she did. She so she did her little thing, but for the most part we would indulge in drinking. So I had already been abusing alcohol. I already had substance abuse with alcohol. And I finally got it under control, thank God. I never really had to go to counseling or anything for it, or any AA meetings, because I mean, it's alcohol. Like, I don't wake up with a bottle, and I don't go to sleep with a bottle. It was the main thing for me was that I was an emotional drinker. So every time the abuse would occur, I would, go to alcohol, and I overindulged. I can say that. So my finances took a huge hit from me overindulging in alcohol abuse, and still trying to keep my mental health intact and together. um I just I seeked her company because it was more or less a comfort. And even though she did, have her little vice and smoked her little rocks, you know what I'm saying? Listen, I ain't gonna, because none of y'all know who she is, but I'm sure she gonna find this video. But thank God none of you knew who she is. But she had her little vice. She smoked her little rock, and I would drink, and I would smoke my little marijuana, and that was my outlet because I was so lonely, I was just so depressed. Like, being overweight, high blood pressure, depressed, full of anxiety, loneliness in this world, and then still trying to keep my faith intact, you know. And then with my Messianic family, I love them. Shout out to them because they helped me. But even so, trying to get away from this man, I felt as though that, you know, maybe they wouldn't accept my baby, and God gave him to me for a reason. So I felt like the motherly thing to do was to keep my baby with me, and to raise him accordingly to his word. And so that's what I did. And so I just distanced myself a little bit from my Messianic family. And I just tried to find a pathway, trying to make a pathway, create a pathway for me and my baby, right? So nonetheless, continuing on in 2020. COVID. Y'all, COVID was terrible. COVID was terrible for me in 2020. So we want the pandemic, right? Pandemic hit. Y'all, it was terrible. But I wound up. I'm trying to find a way how to edit these videos to clip it and make it shorter. But I think I need the internet for that. So when I get the internet or whatever, or just use public Wi-Fi, I'll find a way to edit and clip it, and create a shorter version of the video. Um, whew, excuse me, huh? So COVID was a blessing for me because I wound up getting a lump sum of money, and but I didn't I didn't wind up getting it until like 5, 6 months, maybe even 8 months after, because I wasn't sure how to do it. So I didn't know that you had to, file a claim and everything like that every week. So I didn't do that every week. So long story short, they had the IRS had to see, my work ethic and history or whatever. And I wound up getting it. And which I invested most of it, and I reinvested most of it, and then I saved a lot of it. So I mean, that was just a blessing for me, man, in disguise. But we wound up getting sick. We wound up catching the flu. Oh my God. Guys, you just don't know. We wound up catching the flu, right? The flu lasted for about almost 2 weeks. And then after we wound up catching the flu, we wound up catching COVID. And COVID hit hard for me, y'all. I mean, when I say it hit hard for me, it hit hard. Yo, I was terrible. I felt like I was dying. But it was a blessing because I did wind up losing about like 55 pounds. And it did wind up flushing out my system and a lot of other things that it did. But for the most part, it was a blessing. By that time, so now I'm going into 2021, y'all. So by that time, God, it was terrible. And I may got these dates a little mixed up, or the years a little mixed up, but don't worry, because I will, come back and correct some things as we go along. I'm still getting used to this. So, but